Hello and welcome to Canada Geeks Podcast, episode number 3, with your hosts Jimmy Hick and Faust. On this episode, Faust and I reminisce and talk about our top 5 favorite bands and artists from over the years, and a song from each one. Sit back and see which band you've heard of or which ones pique your interest. This podcast is also brought to you in part by Gemify Web Solutions at gemify.ca. Hello, my friends. Welcome back to Canada Geeks Podcast number 3. We are doing our top 5 favorite artists or bands or projects and a song associated to each. Not to give in to too much, but this was an ordeal and a half to get through. For whatever reason, we suffered through 2 weeks of agonizing technical difficulties to bring you this.
More audio than visual, but
yeah, it was, we finally got it. I'm not pressing a damn button anymore.
Nothing made any sense because we didn't change anything to begin with.
Seriously, nothing changed. It happened to be, one of the things happened to be on my computer that I had to reset something from like the soundboard or something, because it legitimately crapped. Just done with you. Don't want to do it anymore. I don't want to have any more fun. So here we are. Your dulcet tones. I'm Jimmy Heck.
I'm Faust.
And we are your hosts for tonight. Let's get into it before anything else happens. Unlike the top 10 action-adventure movies, I actually did select my movie, my songs, my artists in a top 5. But for me, it was a hell of a struggle. In fact, we started to record, and then that one got tossed out because of sound issues. So my number 5 actually changed between then and now. We'll probably
made it through 5 and 4 anyway. So
yeah, that's true. Yeah. So I'm going to be keeping an eye on the volumes. I have another screen over here as well for people who are watching us. This is what I'm doing, is just selecting my notes. So I want to make sure that everything is good to go. We are good. Where'd my notes go? That's okay. It is okay.
You're gonna have to wing it.
I'm gonna have to. Okay. Number 5. Actually, let's bring that back up. There we go. No, that's not it. Where are you? There you are. There it is. Ha ha ha. All right. So with my number 5. Now before we go into this, I've made it clear before that music is it's a catharsis to me. Not a day goes by that I don't listen to music in some fashion. I can't go to sleep with music anymore. I know what I forgot. There we go. The process in behind.
Oh, the mood lighting.
Mood lighting. There we go.
There you go.
Music makes everything so much better. I talked about this during our top 10 movie action adventure movies, that a good soundtrack can really make a movie, and a bad soundtrack can pretty much ruin it.
It was actually kind of hard for me not to put some composers on this top 5 list, because I could do a separate list for that. So
I had another thought that we could probably do video game soundtracks.
Yeah, that's true.
Because
there's so many good ones.
Oh my God, there are so many of them. Just off the top of my head, I was listening to a couple today. Back when I was doing my broadcast, I would have regularly. I would have Destiny. I would have The Witcher. I would have
The Witcher.
Oh God, right. Even Tron Legacy, which is a movie soundtrack.
Yeah.
I had them all playing because they were just absolutely beautiful. And as much as I don't like the game Destiny, it really did have a kick-ass soundtrack. Okay, my number 5, right off the top here, I'm going to move this so I can read it, is ZZ Top Lagrange. The album Tres Hombres, released in 19... No, it's not. Yes, it is. Yes, it is. Released in 1973. This was my number 4. It got pushed down one.
Okay.
Lagrange, ZZ Top, or up here in Canada, ZZ Top. That just sounds weird. Yeah, I know. Yeah, I know. It was never played in the city of Lagrange, Texas, until 2015. For absolutely no reason whatsoever. They just never... It never really appealed to them at the time. It didn't really catch, but there was a Lagrange festival, so they figured that they would go down and play. And the song itself is about a brothel called the Chicken Hut in Lagrange. Now there's also a movie, The Greatest Little Whorehouse in Texas, which is what this is about.
Okay.
Yeah. And now why I like this song, I can't tell one blues song to the next. I really can't. But the riff of the guitars and the drums, this song, anytime it comes on, will automatically get right into air guitar mode. And it is one of my favorites, absolutely. And I mentioned this last time as well, before the sound crapped. I was driving home one day, and this still sticks in my head, that I heard someone else play this song in their vehicle with their windows down. So I turned my song down just so that I can hear that. It was really, really well done. It was a lot of fun. But yeah, Lagrange, ZZ Top brings me back to the 80s. Even though it was released in 73, I didn't hear it till many years later when I got behind ZZ Top. I saw them in Ottawa decades ago.
Yeah.
Actually, come to think of it, all but one of my list I've seen concerts, and I don't go to concerts that much. Not unlike you. You go, if somebody sneezes, you'll go to a concert.
I like seeing live music.
Yeah. I don't blame you. It's just costly nowadays. But anyways, when I went to see ZZ Top, it was up to that point, it was one of the best concerts I've ever been to, because they just came out and just jammed, and it was a lot of fun, and we got right into it. But for some reason, out of Sleeping Bags, Give Me All Your Lovin', Tush, all those modern ones, Lagrange is one of the only ones that really stuck with me, and I could listen to it until I'm blue in the face. So that was my number 5.
I didn't change my list. Not only have I not had time to sit down and look at it this weekend, but I'm happy with it. Obviously I could make changes if I sat there and thought about it long enough, but my number 5 is still Alter Bridge. Such a good band. Not nearly as popular as the band that came before it. It's essentially Creed with a different singer. Miles Kennedy's a singer for this one. Scott Stapp is a singer for Creed. Creed put out 4 albums, but 3 of them are probably 3 of the biggest albums ever created. Like, it was insane how big they were for that. Like, they got Super Bowl to play that long before most bands even get thought of doing it. But Alter Bridge, I just find Miles Kennedy's vocals better. The content that they sing about, I prefer Blackbird, one of my favorite songs. Again, I could talk about it forever. I've done twice with you now. One that didn't make the recording last time, and when I was on your radio show before.
That's right. It's a good song
Cry
too.
of Achilles, Metalingus is the one that you know.
The theme song for Edge, who is now known as Cope or Copeland.
Who was it listed as in your
It Lives and Breathes.
It lives it breathes.
Because
I heard it and I'm like, I don't think this is what you think it is.
Yeah, for whatever reason, even he says that it was initially It Lives, It Breathes, and then he corrects himself and says Alter Bridge.
Yeah.
Which is odd.
Which I don't know It Lives, It Breathes, so I don't know. But yeah, that's my number 5, Alter Bridge. If you haven't listened to them, go give them a shot. They have far more than 3 albums. I think they just put out like their 6th, and they're about to put out another one. So
wow.
Yeah.
I'll have to listen to them. Seriously, I will, because if I get back in my radio show, but even if I'm not, I need to pump up my personal list. Number 4 for me, because I had to bump ZZ Top down, which was difficult, is Queen.
Oh,
And
nice.
the only reason why it's not higher on this list is because the other 3 I hold in higher regard, and that's, in my opinion, saying a lot, because Queen is everybody's heard of Queen, and if you haven't, I mean, you've been living under a rock. Let's be honest. They're in movie soundtracks. They're quoted almost all the time. My favorite song today is "Crazy Little Thing Called Love." On the album The Game, released in 1973 as well. Oh, these are old bastards. Same album that came out with Another One Bites the Dust. This was a tribute to Elvis Presley, and contrary to popular belief, was not an actual Elvis Presley song, which was, I think it's a bit of a Mandela effect, because many people I've talked to who have heard this song said, yeah, no, this is an Elvis Presley cover. And growing up, when I did, not really looking much into it, I believed it, because it sounds like an Elvis Presley song. The steel guitar, the vocals, the tempo, everything about it is something that Elvis would sing. And even when Freddie Mercury gets into a crazy little thing called love in the song, he makes it sound like, well, as close as he can to Elvis Presley. It's just a really, it's a good get 'em up kind of song, and there's a lot of fun lyrics in it. But yeah, Queen, Crazy Little Thing Called Love.
That hurts my head because I could have swore I've heard an Elvis version of that song.
Right? But it's
Because
not.
we played that song in my band ages ago. It was one of the most fun bass lines I ever learned how to play. And I would have put money down that I heard an Elvis version of it.
I thought the same thing, 100%. I'm like, this is a
What
really good. I
what
don't like
happened
Elvis,
to
but
our world and how did we get mixed into another one? What did they do with the super collider?
Super Collider.
Yeah, you haven't heard. No, we're not going to go into that
No,
right now.
closing my camera. I time thing, but yeah, as far as I know,
Yeah.
that's a Mandela effect, that a lot of people thought that this was an Elvis song, and it's not. It's a really good tribute.
God, we could do a whole new podcast on Mandela effects.
Oh God,
You heard the Fruit of the Loom one?
yes,
Yeah,
the,
yeah.
the Berenstain Bears. Yeah, yeah,
All right.
yes.
That's a good number 4, a good change up. What was it before?
Number 5 was Phil Collins.
Ah, it was Phil
I
Collins.
wish it would rain down, because it's a very emotional song for me. The video itself is 8 minutes long, and it's got Eric Clapton in it, Jeffrey Tambor, based in 1930s kind of play musical, and Phil Collins was a janitor just sweeping away, and Eric Clapton says, if you want a singer, this one over here sings. It's a production, and it's the whole thing about it is just very emotional, because I used to listen to it when I was depressed, because I have depression, yay. And I would just want to have the rain wash everything away. So that's why it was on my list. But I had to put Queen on there, because I remember listening to Queen since forever. I had a babysitter come over, and we would listen to records all the time. The Beatles, which I'm not a fan of. Unpopular opinion, I'm not a fan of the Beatles.
I like a lot of their music, but it's something my wife will put on all the time when we're just sitting around the house, or if her family's over, she'll put the Beatles on in the background. But they grew up listening to that a lot.
So did I.
So that
I
But I didn't grow up
okay.
listening to the Beatles a lot. So like I knew a lot of their songs, but my parents didn't really listen to them. They were more into metal and rock
Oh,
or newer rock, like 80s and that kind of grunge
yeah,
and that stuff. So that's where I got a lot of my music taste from. But they're not a band that I would just put on
yeah.
every once in a while. But I have a favorite song from them, and I'll listen to some of their other ones. I've heard a lot more covers than I have actual Beatles songs.
Yeah. When my babysitter came over again decades ago, she would sit down and go through the album cover and write down the lyrics. So, Sergeant Pepper's Lonely Club Heart Band Club Heart thing. That album is seared into my head, even though I
Okay.
trip over the words. Sergeant Pepper's Lonely Hearts Club Band um, is the album that we listen to ad nauseum.
Mm.
It was either that or I honestly can't remember the album, and I apologize for that. But it's Queen, and the album has this robot sticking his hand into this coliseum where all these people are, and it was a very trippy album cover.
Mm.
But we also had the game, and we would play that as well. So
Okay.
that's why. Yep. So yeah, it was Phil Collins, and that was
Your number
yes,
four?
that was my number 4.
Yeah, my number four is Breaking Benjamin, a band that I didn't start listening to until high schoolish. They've been around since 99 is when they started. They didn't really get big until I believe it was Halo 2. Somebody heard them like a show or something, asked if they could use the song for promote the next Halo game, and they basically blew up overnight because of that. So lots of great albums. Their sound, like I was saying before, is very unique. You can kind of tell when it's a Breaking Benjamin song, even just from the music before he even starts singing. His voice generally gives it away, though. Benjamin Burnley is his name. Phobia, one of their best albums, definitely written about his mental issues and all of the things that he goes through. They've been on many hiatuses and breaks that they've had to deal with because of the things that he's gone through. And the band has completely changed at this point since 2015. Because during one of the hiatuses that they were on, the band still wanted to make money and decided to continue selling rights to the songs. And then when Benjamin found out, he took them all to court and got rid of them.
Thanks for all the fish. Out you
And
go.
it was crazy. They came back in 2015, and even with an entirely new lineup of artists, it still sounded the exact same. So it just shows how replaceable some people can be.
There was a song from them that I used to play on my radio show, Breaking Benjamin, and I
Diary of Jane,
no,
that's one of their big ones.
I know you played that one. You came in and you played that one.
So Cold is another big one.
Oh, that might be.
If you knew the album, I would probably know which one it was. But
I can't.
no,
It's not important, but yeah, it's I'm fairly certain. Yeah, I'll figure it out later. Good choice.
Blow Me Away was the one that promoted Halo.
Okay, that sounds familiar. I mean, it could have been somebody else completely. I can't remember at this point.
Yeah,
But
I mean, you already had one song that was listed as somebody else.
yeah.
It's those LimeWire songs.
Oh, LimeWire.
Yeah.
Oh wow. What was it that was removed because of Lars Ulrich?
Oh, that was Napster.
Napster. Oh,
Yeah. Metallica went after
yeah.
Napster because of the everybody downloading their music, and I guess they saw a downtick in profits.
How dare you? Yeah, look at how things changed since. I mean, with that said, LimeWire and everything else is either gone. Pirate Bay is gone, or it keeps changing. So
Yeah.
those things, but the need and desire is still there. But that's we could talk about that again
Oh my god.
later.
Yeah.
That was your number 4.
That was my number four.
All right, on to number 3,
Breaking
and
Benjamin.
This is where it got very difficult to relegate this band to number 3. And it hurt my soul, but I bandaged it up knowing what my number 2 and my number 1 was. And it made things better. Pink Floyd,
Okay.
Wish You Were Here. Wow, do I have notes on this? On the album Wish You Were Here, released in 1975.
Really sticking to the 70s there, buddy.
Yeah, well, this is the last one, actually. What can I say about Wish You Were Here? I'll just read my notes. Roger Waters describes the lyrics as being directed at himself, being present in one's own life and freeing one's self in order to truly experience life in the main is the main topic in this song. David Gilmour, however, because there's this whole thing behind Wish You Were Here, and it was a loving tribute to Syd Barrett, who was the original lead singer for Pink Floyd. And he fell on hard times because of mental illnesses. Just kept catching up to him. Probably caused by the drugs. But David Gilmour, on the other hand, recognizes that he never performs this song without remembering Syd Barrett. The entire album of Wish You Were Here is an album of love to Syd Barrett, who had left the band several years prior due to failing mental health conditions. And I found this out obviously many years after I first initially heard it, which made things a little more concrete for me for this album. Out of the entire album, there's only one song that I really don't listen to, and it's Welcome to the Machine. I'll usually just bypass it. It's a good song, but out of all of them, I'll just skip it and I'll listen to everything else. But in the whole storytelling of the love message to Syd, it is a very integral part, is a very important piece of music in the album. When I first heard it, was when I was in Petawawa during my militia boot camp. And we were just relaxing one day, and some guy slaps it on. And he says, "Yeah, I play this because it reminds me of my mom." I'm like, "Okay." I mean, sure, we're in the military, you know what? At the time, it was very bizarre for someone to play something for their mother, but nowadays it's like, yeah, feel your boots. But I heard it, and I instantly fell in love. And because, and I'll say this time and time again, because I'm so emotional, I wear my heart on my sleeve. Something resonated even before knowing about the history of this album. Something resonated with this album with me, and I fell in love with it instantly. I would listen to this first thing in the morning when I was in college, first year. I would put this on my CD player, and I would carry it in the bus, and I would listen to it 45 minutes from my home to the college, skipping one song. And to this day, it has never lost its oomph. Shine On You Crazy Diamond, Have a Cigar, Wish You Were Here. All of them is just, it's such a powerful, powerful album, and I absolutely love it. So Pink Floyd, Wish You Were Here, my number 3.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I didn't grow up with a lot of them, but I know a lot of their songs. I do enjoy Pink Floyd. My number 3 is Metallica.
Speaking of Metallica,
I grew up with a lot of Metallica. That was one of my stepdad's favorite bands. He would always like the self-titled or Black album. He played it all the time. He had it recorded on a cassette, and he played it in his truck, or he blasted on his sound system. And like I listened to it a lot that way, but it wasn't until I believe it was the summer between grade 7 and 8. I will never say I was the greatest student ever at any point. and my grades were slipping for some things, and I was getting bored in school a lot in grade 6, 7, 8. I played a lot of sports, and that interested me more than sitting in class and doing, let alone doing homework when I went home. But of all of the things, and especially moving to Canada in '99, going into grade, I was halfway through grade 6, and then jumping into French where everybody else was,
Yeah.
and me not growing up with it at all. I wasn't picking it up. I wasn't doing well with it. So at the end of grade 7, because I'm pretty sure it was that summer, I got a D in French, and I ended up getting grounded for the entire summer.
Oof.
I spent that summer in my room most of the time. I went outside every once in a while, but I wasn't allowed to do a lot of stuff. I didn't really go anywhere. There wasn't a lot to do. So that's when I started drawing a lot, but I had a little like boombox cassette player and CD player. And I listened to the Black Album like that entire summer, like front to back, like continuously every day. And I would
Nice.
draw like I would my brother had these Dragon Ball cards, and I'd look at them and then blow them up on paper, and I did a lot of drawing that summer. But yeah, it was a Metallica summer for me, and I listened to them all the way up until, like, a lot until the Saint Anger came out. My mom bought me the Saint Anger album for my birthday that year when it came out, and I listened to it a few times, but then I never really listened to a lot of Metallica after that. I don't remember what happened to the CD. I did pick them up again when Death Magnetic came out because that one was a lot better,
Okay.
but
Uh,
it still wasn't what Metallica was before that,
yeah, the
which is
self-titled.
unfortunate, but
Yeah.
self-titled, yeah, and everything, Ride the Lightning, and Justice for All, Kill 'Em All. Kill 'Em All is an
Unforgiven.
amazing
Yeah.
album. Like, I loved
Oh,
Cliff
that. Yeah,
Burton as a
yeah,
bassist. Cliff Burton was an amazing bassist. I tried so many times when I was in my band to learn any of his
yeah.
bass lines, and it just was never going to happen for me. Anesthesia was like his bass solo song in that album was ridiculous. Not to say, and I lost his name now, but Jason Newsted was bad. He was a great bassist. He had a bit of an attitude, but I mean, a lot of the people in Metallica had a bit of an attitude at
Yeah.
some point. But a
Uh,
great band. I loved the self-titled album from start to finish. Yeah, yeah, Metallica is my number 3.
nice. I got slightly distracted. I think the chicken just tried to come in to see where I was, so the door kind of opened up a little bit, even though I just sent her a text. So while you were rhyming off album titles, my brain disjointed, and I thought you were rhyming off songs for a second, which is why I said Unforgiven, because it's one of my favorite songs from the self-titled album. More
The Unforgiven.
specifically, yeah, Unforgiven, but more specifically, the cover that Apocalyptica does,
Yes, that's a
which
great song.
is oh my god, like Apocalyptica. If you haven't seen them or heard of them, just as a slight tangent, they do a lot of metal songs, more Metallica.
Yeah, that's how
On
I feel like they started as like a
I
Metallica
think
cover
so,
band.
but on cellos,
Yeah, on cellos,
like
which
their
is
rendition
phenomenal. Yeah, it was
of
so cool. Yeah.
one. Like
Hmm.
when Lars goes into the double bass kick right in the middle, and they start going with the cellos with that solo, my forearm hurts just thinking about it. But it
So
is, hmm?
my favorite song off the self-titled is one that I don't really hear a lot of people bring up. It's "Don't Tread on Me," and that could be because I was grounded for that summer.
It's all you
It
heard.
definitely could have been burned in because of that, but I really, really like that song.
Speaking of burn into one's cranium, unlike my previous experience of Sergeant Pepper's Lonely Hearts Club Band, which is tolerable, it's poppy, whatever. I grew up. Well, I didn't grow up. I lived in a house with someone else who absolutely loved Live.
Okay.
Their first album with Lightning Strikes. There are other songs, but that's the one that catches into my mind because I swear to God, if I hear it one more time. I'm going to kick somebody, because they would play it continuously
Yeah.
on a loop every day without exaggeration or hyperbole, only to break to go to sleep, which was early in the morning or late at night or whatever. Like they had really weird sleeping schedules, and it
Yeah.
was always when I'm sleeping or trying to sleep that this thing would just go off, and I'm so
Like
done with life.
to each their own, but that's a very particular song to be
Oh,
the one that you're gonna listen to on repeat.
right. And yes, you're right. To each their own. Um, but at the same time, be mindful of those that are around you.
Mm.
If I lived in a house, I would want to make sure that people would be okay after listening to my favorite album, 30 times in a row. Anyway,
Alright, so you're number 2.
my number two. Feels good, but it's still weird having Pink Floyd as number three, only because Tragically Hip, number two. Have to. Nautical
Still
Disaster
Canadian.
specifically. Yes. Canadian represent my boys from Kingston. Oh, Gord, we miss you. So Nautical Disaster on the album Day for Night, released in 1995, no longer in the 70s, performed on SNL in 1995. I forgot about that. I'd forgotten that they did Nautical Disaster and Grace 2. They performed on Saturday Night Live.
Mm,
The song is inspired, but not necessarily about the sinking of the Bismarck during World War II, it's a World War II German battleship named after Otto von Bismarck. The first time I heard it, because I'm emotional, I'm going to keep saying it. Gord's passion and the lyrics and everything, the composition, everything about it just got to me, and it made me emotional. It was very nice. It was really cool. Now, before I even heard of Nautical Disaster, even before I even heard the song itself, because everybody and their grandmother was talking about the Tragically Hip, very much like Buffy, very much like Battlestar Galactica, I wanted nothing to do with it.
mm.
I really didn't. I wanted to form my own opinion, but people were saying, no, it's really good. It's really good. You really like it. Well, you know what? Out of spite, I'm not going to like it. Screw you. Then I heard Nautical Disaster, and I have been a Hip fan ever since. Um, I listen to the Hip more when I'm on long drives, because I find that
Okay.
they are really, really good, like, highway songs. You just put them on and you just groove, particularly, the 401, because that's really the only highway that I'll drive. Um, Not around here, but anyway, yeah. Like, I'll do
Yeah,
the
yeah, yeah.
416 to the 470 or whatever. But the 401, that strip right from say, Brockville to Toronto, I could listen to the Hip all the way every day, all the way down, and it's just there's no other feeling, in my opinion, to listen to them and just windows down, gored up, we're good to go. So Nautical Disaster, Tragically Hip, that's my number two.
My number 2, I guess I don't really have any light bands on this list. My number 2 is Guns N' Roses.
Oh, good choice.
Um,
Oh, yeah. Okay.
Another one that I grew up listening to a lot. Like my mom was bigger into them than my stepdad was, but I mean, Appetite for Destruction is one of the most influential albums that's ever been created.
Oh,
Um, just the amount of bands that that album has influenced, and just the style of music and everything. Like it was just insane. Um,
I hear you
when
have an
I
appetite for destruction. Yeah, sorry.
when I was in my band in Trenton, we covered a lot of the music from them for when we were doing sidewalk sale shows or going off. Yeah, Trenton does a sidewalk sale every year, so they would always have bands come and play. So you'd have hour
Okay.
time slots. But there was one summer, 'cause I was in that band for like 7 years. We were just chilling after practice one day and realized that we could play the greatest hits album from front to back. We didn't realize that we had covered each of those songs so many times that we had actually done the greatest hits album, and we could have done just that for any show.
Oh, that's fantastic.
um, I I went and saw them when they got back together.
Was
Uh, so it would have been 2016 because it was just the year before I moved back to Canada, which was 2017.
no, it wasn't
Um,
2020.
I saw them in Atlanta when I was down there,
Oh wow.
and I honestly, and nobody thought they were ever going to see that band back together again, let alone get to go see them live. So that was awesome to go and see. I wish I could have seen them back in their height,
Yeah.
but I was glad I still got to go and see them play all of their songs and all that stuff. The only thing that sucked when I went and saw there, and because I ended up taking my mom to go see that one because the other person I was supposed to go with ended up bailing. Um,
Oh,
but I was at that show with my mom, and November Rain came up, and that's her favorite song. And she spent like the entire song fidgeting with her phone to try to record the song. And I was like, well, just watch it. Like, it
yeah.
drives me nuts, especially
Yeah.
when I go to concerts now. I might record a snippet of a song here and
Yeah.
there, especially if they have a good stage presence or like
Yeah.
show going on and I want to have that on.
Just be there.
But I just want to watch the concert.
Yeah.
Especially with the cost of concerts now.
Oh my
I
God.
don't need to sit there like everybody else with a phone in front of my face and watch it through that screen,
Yeah. Yeah.
recording it and all that stuff. But yeah, Guns
Back
N' Roses my number two.
back on just to touch up on Pink Floyd, because I completely my brain goes a million miles, and there are some things that I forget until something else is brought up. Pink Floyd has been one of my favorite albums for the absolute longest time, and I remember when Division Bell came out, and I was first year college, and there was a girl that I really liked, and I said, you know what, let's go to Toronto, let's go see Pink Floyd, Division Bell, it's gonna be awesome. And she said, and the reason why I mouthed that and said nothing is because I can't remember exactly what she said. She said words, whether it was a confirmation or, just a platitude, I can't remember. So I said, no problem. I'm going to go get my ticket. So I went down to a record shop and I gave him the money and I took the tickets for Pink Floyd, transportation paid for, everything. All I had to do was turn around and walk out that door. I said, you know what? No, I'm going to wait for my friend to buy her ticket just to make sure that we can go. And I missed my chance. I missed
Mhm.
my chance to go see Pink Floyd. Thankfully, when I first met up with the chicken, well, Roger Waters came to town doing the
Yeah.
wall. And I told her, Pink Floyd has always been my favorite. I went through the whole rigmarole. I kicked myself in the ass for not going to see Division Bell, blah, blah, blah. And Roger Waters is here. And there he goes. Okay, bye, Roger. Take care, bye. I was not able to watch him in concert. A couple years later, he comes back, and I keep telling the story. Yeah, Roger was here last time. I didn't get a chance to go. And the chicken comes up to me. And for those who are wondering, the chicken is my partner. She loves that name. She's good with it. It's not demeaning in any way. Everybody knows the chicken. She came to me and she says, chicken, bark. She came up to me and she said, happy birthday, Merry Christmas, and gave me 2 tickets to Roger Waters to go see The Wall. Quite possibly one of the best performances I've ever seen in my life.
Mm.
Hands down. It was very well done. I loved every minute of it. And back on what you were saying about taking pictures, the only time I ever took my phone out was when they were doing Comfortably Numb,
Mm.
because it was my favorite song from that album. And I bawled my eyes out. My God. Just holding my phone up, just recording them. And that was the only time I actually ever recorded anybody in a concert. I've done some other ones, but just very like small snippets.
Mhm.
But that's about it. But yeah,
So, speaking of Comfortably Numb, so that band I was in. So I played bass in the band. But I had an acoustic guitar, so every once in a while I'd play around with it, different chord progressions and stuff like that. And I did a lot of like finger picking rather than strumming and that kind of stuff because I just like the sound of it better. And over at the lead guitarist place, it was one of my friends, so we hung out a lot even when we weren't in the band. And I'm showing him this one. I was like, "Yeah, I really like this one. I like the progression. It sounds good." And I'm going through it, and he goes, "Yeah, that sounds really good." And then he walks over and he goes, "Have you heard this song?" And he starts playing "Comfortably Numb" because it was the same progression. It was done differently, but it was at the same like speed as well.
Oh, wow.
So, like, I could play what I was if I played it separately, like, it could have been like an alternate cover to it because it was different enough to where you could have done it.
Nice.
But if you could play it and play Comfortably Numb in the background and you'd be playing along with it. And I didn't because I didn't listen to the song. I knew it, but I didn't listen to it a lot to realize that was
That's
the
what it was.
progression and that I was doing.
Oh, that's
I
awesome.
was like, God damn it.
Subconsciously playing Pink Floyd.
Yeah.
That's fantastic. So that was your number two?
Yeah, Guns N' Roses.
And drum roll, number one. For anybody who knows me, this is absolutely no surprise.
B&B Nation.
Number one, V&V Nation. Vengeance, not victor. Victory, not vengeance. V&V Nation is a electronic project started by and fronted by an Irish Canadian, Ronan Harris. My favorite song. This was tough. This was really tough because I've got all their albums. I listen to them all the time. But I had to choose Nova. And the reason why I chose Nova over the very first song that I ever heard from V&V Nation was Legion, Janice. Is my first experience to V&V Nation. I fell in love instantly. And I've listened to them over the decades. Ronan has gotten me out of so many hard places mentally. Just listening to V&V Nation, just listening to that band, the project, whatever you want to call it, it slowly helps pull me out of that depth. And I remember during the time of MySpace, um, I had a chance to chat with Ronan very, very small handful of times. And every time we exchanged messages, he was very polite, he was very kind, and he was very warm. Seeing him most recently in Montreal to a concert that I went to, nothing changed. He's still warm and inviting and a beautiful human being. And and that's just him. His music sends so much positivity out there. Like there's a couple of them that are a little questionable. So some are a little primal, but this one, Nova. I remember going to V&V Nation here in town with you
Mm-hmm.
and another friend of
Brass
ours.
Monkey.
Yep, the Brass Monkey down in the basement. This was the song that, because we were very close to the stage, like very close. We turn up all our phones onto the flashlights, and this was the song Nova. It up until recently, every time I heard it again, because I'm emotional, it would make me weep because of the beauty of the song and how much it resonated within me, within my soul, in that you just want something just to burn everything away and kind of start fresh. And it's just a beautiful experience. And I absolutely love V&V Nation. Other songs, if people are listening, I'm not going to go into it. I mean, I could fill hours of music for you, but if you want to listen, Nova was released on the album Automatic, released in 2011. I forgot to say that. There's another really beautiful song that I cannot listen to called Illusions. It was a song at the end of Hellblade, Senua's Sacrifice, which in itself is an emotional video game.
Mm-hmm.
Illusions, Ronan doesn't so much sing as he conveys an important message. And even now, talking about it, I can feel myself starting to get a little choked up because of the message. Anyways, I'm not going to go into it because I will break down right now. Illusions, if you're in a good mental space, I would highly suggest to listen to it. It is a beautiful, beautiful song. VNV Nation Nova is my number one pick.
Number one for me was, I mean, all of these were kind of, I could be, we probably could have done a top 10 and I would have been a little more comfortable with the list, but we're already at almost an hour anyways. So sticking at 5 was good
I think so.
because I'm going to get cut here soon anyways. So my number one, and my old band members would very much agree with this one because they had a nickname for me for this one. We each had a grunge band that we liked, and none of us overlapped. There was so Aaron was big into Pearl Jam. Chris was more into, which one was his? Oh God, how did Cornell? Chris Cornell.
Oh, Soundgarden?
Soundgarden,
Oh,
and he
Chris.
was a bit of Pearl Jam, but more Soundgarden. No, Aaron was Nirvana. Chris was Pearl Jam. That's what it was.
Okay.
Um, and I listened to Alice in Chains.
Oh, yes.
My mom was big into Alice in Chains, and I remember hearing it a lot on road trips. We moved around a lot, so she had like one of those briefcases that was like that held cassettes in it.
Yep.
And we'd cycle through them on the long drives and all that stuff. But I remember she had a few of the Alice in Chains albums in there, and I remember listening to them a lot growing up. But I didn't really get into music until I was around 16, 17. Started when I was basically kind of living on my own in Florida before I moved up to Canada, back in with my mom. And then music became more of a thing where I listened to it more and more. And that's when I started taking guitar classes. I got into the band and all that stuff. But I got reintroduced to Alice in Chains around that time when I was in Trenton because my mom had a copy of the Alice in Chains Unplugged show,
Oh.
which,
From MTV?
yes,
That was.
great show. Wish they had done it earlier in their career and they had been, or at least Lane Staley had been a little bit better for that show. But it was amazing, like opening with Nutshell and even with his mess up in Sludge Factory, like it was an amazing concert and show. I wish they still did those unplugged shows.
Yeah.
um but then I started listening to their albums more because music was a lot more accessible with CDs and downloading and LimeWire and all that stuff at that point in time.
Yeah.
So like my favorite song from them is Rain When I Die. I just love the intro to that song. I love the bass line. Like that whole song is amazing. But Rooster, Grind,
Yeah.
Nutshell, like all of the such like there's very few songs of theirs that I would throw onto a B-side of an album. It was there's just so many good songs from them. There's so much emotion. The lyrics are great. Like a lot of grunge was like that though. Like they all were very emotional songs and they had things to say and they really got it across. And the music was phenomenal. And he was gone way before he should have been. Like a
Yeah.
lot of the
Yeah.
people in that time period. Like Nirvana was in the same boat.
Yeah.
But yeah, Alice in Chains was my number one. There's so many other bands I could have put on this list. Silverchair almost got on there.
Yeah.
That band, and that's one I could talk about forever, and 90% of the people that are going to listen to us will have no idea who they are.
Yeah, and I remember you talking about them on my show, and
Yeah.
I had a couple people like, oh, okay, this is pretty good. Who are they
Yeah.
again? I remember a couple of songs, but from the 90s,
That's
2000s,
what
but
most people know. It was
yeah,
Frog Stomp because it fit in with a lot of the grunge music at the time.
that was it.
But they were super young. Like they were 14 when that album came out, but they sounded like they were
Oh,
older, like all the other grunge bands we were listening to.
that is
They won a
impressive.
battle of the bands, and that's where they got their first album
Huh.
created. Like, and their name wasn't even supposed to be Silverchair; it was Sliverchair, which was because they listened to Nirvana and Alice in Chains, and it was supposed to be Sliver and Angry Chair. Is how they got their name, and they just said it wrong at the Battle of the Bands, and they got Silverchair.
Silverchair. Oh, wow.
But they're massive in Australia. Every one of their albums hit number one. But they just couldn't break into their last song that did really well in North America was Anthem for the Year 2000.
Yeah, I remember that one. You okay?
Yeah, but
Wow.
yeah, no, they could have made the list. 30 Seconds to Mars could have been on the list. Linkin Park could have been on the list.
Lincoln
Yeah,
Park. Yeah.
yeah.
Good selections, man.
True Linkin Park. And I'm sorry if I upset anybody that likes current Linkin Park, but they'll never be the same. Chester was Linkin Park.
I mean, yeah. I haven't heard anything for the new ones. I don't think
I
I
have.
could.
She's not bad. I name change.
Yeah. Yeah. Who was it? It was oh no, I'm gonna kick myself in the ass for doing it. Love will tear us apart. They became New Order. Joy Division.
Okay.
Joy Division, their last song that they did was Love Will Tear Us Apart. I think that's the name. And previously they had all agreed that if something should happen to the band, if they went their separate ways or whatever, they're going to change the name. And the lead singer died. I think he took his life.
Oh,
And they stuck true. They said, you know what? We don't have the original members, so we have to change our name. I agree, something like that. Leave the legacy alone.
hmm.
Start your new one. Start
Yeah.
fresh. Same people. That's fine. I don't care. But start new. Don't tarnish on the off chance. Now, it's good from what you said that this new Linkin Park is good,
Hmm.
which is good. That's fine. But if they weren't, that would have tarnished everything.
Yeah.
Like if for
Yeah.
whatever reason they came out with my pal Foot or something, it would have ruined everything Chester did.
Yeah.
And
Absolutely.
just as a note, if nobody's ever heard of my pal Foot, you're in for a ride. Go for it. It's something.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anyway, we
All
can
right.
talk
I
about that
think we're
later.
coming up to an hour though.
Yes, sir.
So we should probably wrap it up.
Yep.
I'm glad we got one done finally. It only took us 2 weeks.
God, hopefully we won't have
We
another.
should be recording our like fifth or sixth one at this point, but
Yeah. Yeah. We will talk about that later. But for
yeah.
now, folks, thank you very much for chilling in with us. I honestly didn't expect it to last almost an hour. We cut it back to 5 because I knew that it was going to be a lot longer if it was 10. I'm glad we kept it at 5.
Yeah.
Pardon me.
Absolutely.
So stay tuned. In 2 weeks, we're gonna have another one up for you, as per normal, every second Friday, and we'll see where this train takes us. So everyone out there, thank you very much on behalf of me, Jimmy Heck.
And me, Faust.
I want to thank all of you for listening to the Canada Geeks podcast, number 3, our top 5 favorite artists, and thank you all very much. Whatever it is you do, do it well. We'll see you the next time. Take care, everyone. Hey guys, Jimmy Heck here from Canada Geeks Podcast and Hecktown Entertainment. Both Faust and I want to thank you all very, very much for just going through that entire podcast. Seriously, we did forget to tell you that we are on hecktown.ca. We're also on Spotify, and you can also hit us up on YouTube at youtube.com/@hecktown. Please leave a comment, like, and subscribe. And give us a follow on Spotify as well. If you have anything to suggest, any comments or anything else, and you want to drop us an email, you can do so at jimmyheck@hecktown.ca. We'll see you for the next podcast, guys. Thank you very much. Gemify is a new, small, independent company that makes websites designed to impress and built to perform. Catering to businesses of all sizes, their results speak for themselves, skyrocketing clients to over 60,000 monthly impressions. Gemify helps owners fulfill their dreams in website design and development, just like Hecktown Entertainment. Go to gemify.ca and check out testimonials from their clients. Contact Gemify today and make your dream website at gemify.ca.